What is up, YouTube? I'm back with another quick review show and tell. I did two videos a couple of days ago. It was the 1st of November. So it was actually 3 days ago. It is November 4th. I just got one of my Glocks back. So I'm just going to do like kind of a quick show and tell on what I did. I think I've shown this Glock, the Glock Gen 4 17, that I had grip chopped down to a 19 for the fact that I have several Glock 19 makes. But I had it cut for an optic, which I have the Burris Fast Fire 3, and I had it Cerakoted Magpul green. Not sure how well that's picking up. I actually have a little lamp light right here to help try and pick that up. Probably looks really dark on your end. It might not. But if you've seen Magpul green, that's what color this slide is. So kind of a reason why I went with the Burris Fast Fire 3. I got a really good deal on this. Like it was like almost next to nothing. It was brand new. A guy had bought a Beretta that came with this. He didn't want it. He doesn't run red dot, so it was pretty much almost given to me. And it was at the time where I was taking this to the guy that does a lot of my slide work, and he cut it for the optic. He cut the slide for the optic. I did have to do a 1-degree shim. Not sure if you can see, it's thicker in the rear, thinner in the front. So this slide was cut very square, but when I put this optic on, it teetered in between the screw holes. So you can see I have the witness marks in there. It's where the screw holes are. And I could, if I gave it enough force, I could move it. And I thought maybe it wasn't cut square. So a buddy had a Burris Fast Fire 3 that he let me try. And I placed it on the cut part of the slide, and it still teetered. I have a couple other optics of different brands, and I put it on here, and it was completely flush. I couldn't see any light through it. So if I'm putting it up to the light or like out the window where the sun's shining, I couldn't see anything. Burris customer service, I think up front is good, but there was a lot of back and forth, a lot of pictures. I was able to get pictures of the light gap through the optic in the slide. They kept saying the slide wasn't cut square. They jump up and down swearing that their optics sit flush. It's crazy because I could see a one-off, like this one I just bought, for next to nothing. But then my buddy had one that he hadn't mounted yet, and I placed it on there, the same exact thing. But anyway, Burris wanted me to send it in. They even emailed me a shipping label, but I'm not going through all that hassle. Like I said, I mean, I paid next to nothing for this thing. And when I say next to nothing, it was well under $50. So, it is that Dr. Noblex cut. I think that's how you pronounce the Noblex. There are other red dots on the market that do have that cut. So if I find that I'm not liking the Burris on here, I'll just buy an actual. I think Primary Arms has one, their RS10 Mini. But on the Burris, I wished I knew a little bit more. It doesn't have auto live or shake awake or anything. It does have a push button. I believe the red dot does stay on for up to 12 hours at a time. But this gun will never get carried. It is actually my nightstand gun. So it's set up suppressed. As you can see, I got a light, and I run the same rounds that I've shown a couple of times, those 185 grain seismic rounds. So I wished I knew this. So I had a few Glocks that I sent to this, well, not sent. The guy lives like 45 minutes from me, so I dropped them off. I have another gun that he did of mine, which is a Glock 19 Gen 3, where he actually did the serrations and Cerakote. And I'm not sure how well this is picking up on here, but this is called Glock Gray. And I really dig this color. And if you hadn't noticed, I have a Grit Grips lower in OD green. So I had the full Glock. I sold the stripped lower on a forum, like super fast. But this grit grips, I think I paid, it was on sale. I think it was like $71 shipped. I just swapped all my parts over from the Glock lower into this. The only thing that this comes with is its own mag release. And I much prefer this mag release because it's very similar to a Glock 4, I mean a Gen 4, Gen 5 type mag release. See, look at that big old booger there. But other than that, it's got the double undercuts. The stippling pattern is very aggressive. And now there's videos I've watched on this where everyone said this, the tighter you grip this gun, the more it digs into your hand. That is true. It's a very weird feeling though. It doesn't hurt your hand. It is very aggressive though. It doesn't get caught on clothing, or I've carried this a couple of times. What else? Oh, it does have the gas pedals. I think that's what they're called. And they're both stippled, but presenting the gun, the angle is changed on this grip versus a Glock grip. So it's very similar to a 1911, not quite, but much better grip angle than the actual Glock frame. So I am actually on the hunt for 3 or 4 more Gen 3 Glocks, which I'll have the same thing done. I'll have the slide serrations cut and Cerakoted, but I do want to get 2 or 3 more of these. And then today, I went to go pick up my little baby Glock, and he did the same thing. He did the front slide serrations and Cerakoted it AI Dark Earth. So he had 2 Dark Earths. He had a Noveske Dark Earth and an AI Dark Earth. Preference-wise, I like this darker look. I think on my next Glock I'm going to take to him, I'm going to have him do that Noveske Dark Earth. And then, I don't know, I want an OD green one because the OD green is a lot lighter than that Glock 17. Sorry, I'm just wiping oil off them. I kind of saturated this as soon as I got home. It was sounding a little rough. I think it was dry in there. Sounds a whole lot better. I don't know what it sounds like on your end, but it's no longer metal on Cerakote at this point. There's some lube in there. I thought about getting the new 26X grip. I don't want that because I have a ton of 26 mags. And I have a history with a Glock 26. When I was undercover, I ankle carried a Glock 26 on my right leg. And maybe maybe the next video I'll talk a little bit more about that. But a Glock 26 kind of has a special place in my heart. And I love them. I would love a Gen 5 MOS. I don't know if I would ever carry it though. This is kind of like a backup. This is something that's probably going to go in like a bug out bag. I do have a couple of holsters for it, but anyway, I just wanted to do a little show and tell on these. If you shop around, I know you can find like Gen 3 Glocks for very cheap. And if you have like a local gunsmith that does Cerakote and some type of slide type milling work, and you're wanting to get all this done, go that route versus sending it into Glock or some other business that's out of your state, because now you have a lead time. So just shop around. You can find some really good deals. And if you're going the route that I'm going, and you go into a gun store and you see like a pretty trashed up Glock 19 Gen 3, and you're wanting to change out the lower and get maybe some slide work, or just maybe even just get it re-Cerakoted, keep that in mind too. So if it is looking pretty beat up, pretty worn down, and if your plan is you're going to get it refinished anyway. So let's get another look at that. I did do the double undercuts myself on this, kind of like I did with that Glock 17. I just stippled the back on that just for shits and grins. That is a Hooper Gunworks barrel. You see it's crowned and flush fit. I have not shot this with this barrel in there. So maybe this weekend I'll have everything for my Sons of Liberty and my Daniel Defense PCC and start rocking all these, make sure that they actually function before they get placed in a bag or in a vehicle for whatever use they're intended for. But anyway, just wanted to do a quick show and tell, folks. Have a good one.